Good morning and welcome to Presence of Light with charlierivermanbergeron here on Humanity Healing. It's a pleasure to be with you here with you every Friday and speak to you from my heart. Welcome each and every one of you that are showing up, and hope that your week has been pleasant. I hope that you've discovered new parts of yourself and embrace them. Today's talk is about peace and wholeness, which I awakened to this morning as something that I'm feeling more of, and know that we are going through a lot of chaos and turbulence in the world around us, and we're having a problem maintaining peace and wholeness. And it's okay to have a problem with that, because that's how we've lived for so many centuries, lifetimes, etc., in a world of somewhat self-created chaos. And the message now for all of us is that we're saying goodbye to that we're pushing that back into the past, and it's disappearing. I know many of you may not agree with me on that. Good morning, Catherine. Good morning, Leonie. But this is part of my journey that I share with you, and know that if it's happening for me on some level, then it's happening to everyone on some level, because I am not separate from you. I'm not different from you are. We're in this together, and it's my purpose to encourage each of you to step into who you really are. And within my own self, I'm learning more about myself every day. So with that, that's my sort of introduction to this morning. So as we gather, we have some people on the sideline: Carlene, Catherine, Loretta, and it says 10, 9 people, whatever. And welcome, welcome, welcome. As we gather here this morning, what I would like each of us to do is to just take a few moments to breathe softly, and just allow your breath to come in and fill you and leave in a very peaceful and sort of restful flow, not over exaggerating the breath. Just come into a breathing rhythm of a peaceful breathing pattern. Doesn't have to be deep, doesn't have to be, as I said earlier, exaggerated. Just gentle, gentle breathing. And what I want you to do while you're doing this gentle breathing is to think these words. There's 3 statements. And Dr. Emoto, who spoke them to the water, found that it changes the structure of the water when we talk to things, and it has a sentience. And so I want you to say these things to the water within you, to all of the cells within your body. And it's basically these 3 statements. And you don't have to say it out loud. You can follow with me. I love you. I thank you. I respect you. Say them to the cells in your body. I love you. I thank you. I respect you. Think about your mind right now and say those words. I love you. I thank you. I respect you. One more time. I love you. I thank you. I respect you. And then take that energy of those three statements and bring it from your mind down into your hearts, filling your heart with those statements. I love you. I thank you. I respect you. A few moments of breathing. Feel that peace. Feel that wholeness. This is something you can do for yourself with those statements, or any statements of recognition of how much you want to energize yourself or change yourself. Because it's really about love and respect. And that's what we're all seeking right now in this chaos, is love and respect. So the first card I pulled, I'm sorry, Anita's having technical issues. Well, technical issues are part of the chaos. And this is why we do this. So the first card I chose today was from Life Cards. This beautiful little card here. And they're from Reverend Susan Collins. And the message was whole versus separated. It was a perfect message for the day. Whole, as she explains, is we are created by our interactions. And as you just experience an interaction between your mind consciously sending your itself and your whole self positive vibrations, this is a moment of creation. Separated was, she says, every cycle has a time for rest. And it brings up the fact that many of us don't take enough time to rest. Many of us push ourselves to achieve, because that's what we've been entrained to do, is achieve, go get it, push, shove. And that is not a peaceful action. And so when we wonder why are we not achieving peace, it's partly because we don't take enough time to respect ourselves, to find peace. So this is important. This is when we're moving in through these energies right now. It's very important to take that time, to come to a place of wholeness, just ourselves, and let everything else go. And just take that deep breath, honor ourselves, and respect who we are. And so she goes on to say in the explanation is we belong to tribes, and tribes create communities. And this is what we're doing now. We're creating small communities of people who resonate energetically with each other, who have similarities in purpose or likeness. And we're trying to gather in these small circles and create a new pattern of the flower of life, really. Each circle overlapping another circle. And this is the whole process, is to not to be this one large community of everybody, but to be these small cellular structures, these little small cells, and come together from the heart and know that you can trust these people in your circle, and they can trust you, and you have their best interest in your heart, and they have your best interest in their heart. And then focus that energy in a direction that's going to uplift every other group that you may encounter. So she says also, times of separation are a time for quiet. Now, most times we talk of the word separation, and we look at it as distancing ourselves and splitting ourselves in two. And so this morning, this message of separation brought me to a new thought. It's really a time for quiet. It's time to separate ourselves from this mind chatter on this world chatter. And it's not the end of a cycle. It's just a time to be peaceful and quiet within ourselves and listen to who we really are. Because we're continually talking to ourselves. We're continually giving ourselves information through what I lovingly call the original AI. But that's not who we are. And we understand that now. We understand we're far more than that. This is a beautiful tool. It's a wonderful set of molecular structures that work together with the whole physicality in order for us to move through life as human beings. But it isn't who we are. And it's time we tap into that wholeness of who we are. And so the card reminds us of the world of duality and that there needs to be balance. And that separation can actually be positive. It doesn't have to be a negative connotation with that all the time. And when we gather with people, to fill them with peaceful intentions and peaceful actions that eventually reach out and bless everything around us. Lovely perspective. It is a lovely perspective. And part of the changes that we're going through is to change our perspective, is to look at everything from a different perspective, or as I call it, a point on the wheel. And to open ourselves to a new interpretation of everything we've understood. It doesn't mean that it was wrong or it was bad. But much of it no longer serves us because the energy of the world is changing, the universe is changing, we are changing. We're all evolving together. Second card of today was my galactic meditation cards. And I can see if we can see that. There you go. And so this is a galaxy grouping, and you can see 4 galaxies, one trails off at the bottom, and then a spinning starburst in the middle. And the card message of this card today is peace. Peace. I am at peace with myself. And I know that a powerful presence is working through me. That's the message. Amazing message. I am at peace with myself, and I know that a powerful presence is working through me. And the interesting thing of this card was I had chosen the name for today's talk before I picked up this card or picked it out of the pile. And what that confirms for me is the synchronicity of when we can come from a place of peace, when we're working with each other and speaking to each other, peace will arise, even in a card form. It's amazing. It's magic. This is the magic of who we are. This is the potential that we've been looking for and seeking and searching lifetime after lifetime, and it was always here. So affirmations for that card is, or are, I am at peace with myself. I know that a powerful presence is working through me. That's the title. I'm sorry. I'm reading this off my little screen here, my cheat sheet. As I experience vibrations from source, I am in a state of acceptance. Peace is that subtle, calm energy that vibrates within. I am quiet and still every day and listen to the voice of my higher power. This is what we need to do. This is where we need to be, is listening to that higher power. And that higher power is not necessarily somebody or something outside of us, as we've been taught and told. It is part of us. We are now raising ourselves dimensionally and opening ourselves to communication with ourselves at a higher. Goodness, I think I've been cut off. Okay, poor connection. Oh, thank you. I'm still on it because my computer is, can you hear me? My computer is saying it's trying to reconnect. So if you can hear me, I apologize for the pause. I don't know, I can't see anybody writing in the sideline. Oh, wait a minute, okay. Okay. Thank you. Okay, so if I'm still on, send me some hearts, send me some love, I'll keep going. My apologies. Technology and I have not been getting along lately, which is fine. It's all perfect. So I left off with the second meditation card from the space, and yeah. So separation is really a place of finding peace, and as you can see through this, I question it. I don't get upset. I don't get worked up about this because I'm coming from a place of peace, and just trying to follow the patterns. And so the world around us right now is really becoming unbearable in a lot of ways, such as these frustrations and these messages, error messages, and computer crashes, and things get in our way. And we have to really override the feeling challenged and begin to reconnect to Mother Earth and all that she has to offer us for grounding and support. Many times we arise in the morning and we're reluctant to get out of bed, or reluctant to face the day and move into our daily routines. And it's hard to do that without acknowledging our gratitude or expressing joyous wonder. And when I wrote those words, joyous wonder, okay, I laughed and said, what a precious gift joyous wonder would be if we could just bundle it as a gift and give it away without judgment. Joyous wonder. And so I thought, I'm feeling more joyous wonder now in these days, in spite of all of this chaos. So something is changing. And I encourage each of you to do this. So hopefully, I'm not seeing, am I getting any messages? I'm not seeing any. Anita says I'm obviously not watching this live. And I'm just going to end it. All right, so I'm good. All right. People are sending love. Crazy, 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 crazy. I'll continue. I'm easy. I'm easy. I love it. Chaos, bring it on, because I love you. You're amazing. And so that's it. This morning when I arose, I got a message from a dear friend who is now in New Zealand, grandmother, Indigenous grandmother, and her message was this. It was pictures of water and trees and the indigenous people of New Zealand, and she's an indigenous person of North America. And the message words and the lines were, view above Big Bay villages, fresh water river comes to the ocean, tree of life, grandmother, daughters, and grandchildren. And I thought, what a perfect definition of joyous wonder. And that joyous wonder really can only come from the heart. And it only comes from a heart that can be at peace and feel wholeness. And so it reminded me of we're responsible for our own peace and wholeness. And that's what brought about this title for today. And we are far more capable of bringing that through when we shift our process of living from our hearts, from our heads to our hearts, and let go of fears and let go of all of the troubles and accept who we truly are. And that's the headline that's up on the top of the page. Is I wrote that next in my notes. Every day we choose to see ourselves differently. We open the heavens to pour forth the starlight that can only be seen through an open heart. And that was a message from my higher self to say, Charlie, keep going. And so I offer that to you to keep going as well. And so as we move along, thank you. I can see your notes now, and some people have rejoined. Thank you. My computer's still saying, trying to reconnect. So I'm just going to keep going, and bear with me. So when we recognize that our lives are changing, we'll start to feel an energetic shift, an energetic vibration that is different. And it indicates that we are no longer prisoner anymore. That energy is the potential for us to break through any old patterns and any old teachings that may be keeping us from truly experiencing who and what we truly are. And that the freedom of our souls is our most important mission right now. And we are being assisted now by so many amazing, beautiful, brilliant beings of light. And it's senseless to try to describe them or express who they are, but they're here with us now. They're working with us in communion with us because they too experience planet Earth from wherever they are, whatever dimension they are. And what's happening on planet Earth is as important to them as it is to us. And we are important to them. And now the energy is allowing us to communicate more freely and openly. However you may do that, whether it's in the dreams, whether it's in messages that you receive from guides, it doesn't matter. Not one way is better than another. Each way will be uniquely yours. And I encourage you to honor and recognize how beautiful you are and invite them into your life to assist you. Which brings me to the last message. And the last message came from the Kuan Yin Oracle. And this is the beautiful card. It's called the Amaryllis Lute. And what was interesting was the fact that I said, well, what does that have to do with anything? Didn't make sense to me until I read it. And the first few paragraphs are this. You have won a victory, beloved, a victory over the past. And the Amaryllis Lute is sounding through every cell of your being, heralding your rising vibrations as you leave fear behind you once again. In fact, the lute says you are growing fast and spiritually. You are outgrowing your old life even more so. When your vibration changes, so too does your old life. This is natural. It is safe and loving for you to release that which no longer feels right for you, no matter how much was important in your old life. It might not have the same place in your new life. And so I want you to think about that. As I do, there are many things I'm letting go of. Many things that have been very important to me over the years of my life, my lifetime. Very dear to my heart, very dear to my mind and my thinking process. And it can be somewhat discomforting to say, how can I let that go? That has been sort of my rule and guide forever. And just come to a place of acceptance to say, perhaps I'm going to receive something better. Something where I no longer need that, but I can do that from within my own heart. I won't need that little tool anymore, or that little concept or idea or belief anymore. And know that we're now becoming so attuned with the higher self that we are, that we're no longer needing a lot of this assistance. And a lot of this assistance, although it has been excellent up until now, and again, not all of it, we no longer need it, because now we're going to act it from our hearts. We're not going to need it here. Many of you are losing memory, and can't remember some important things that carried you through life. Don't worry about them. Let them go. Let them go and know that as we tap into this higher self, we will be guided from within our hearts. Doesn't mean the human mind is going to be useless, but it's not going to serve the purpose that it was used for. And it's also going to bring us to our heart, which can't be controlled by others. We're becoming sovereign once again and operating from our hearts. And so as I close this call, there was a couple of things I wanted to read, and one was healing with the amaryllis lute. And the advice is find a private space in nature or in your home where you can walk around in a spiral, starting at the center and moving outwards. If you cannot do this exercise physically, imagine it in your mind's eye. Start in the center and say, I now choose to release that which no longer serves my vibration, that which has held me back in fear or poverty consciousness, in illness or depletion or codependency. I release it and set myself free to be more of me in love, peace, and power. So be it. And begin to walk the spiral in whatever direction feels good for you. It's not counterclockwise or clockwise. Whatever you feel called to do. And imagine that each conscious step inside of you, a beautiful lute, releases amaryllis flowers into your heart when it is sounded. Imagine that with each sound, your vibration is rising, like your soul sounding a higher note, and you are releasing old energies. Take your time and stay with the process. So in that light, you can just imagine, doesn't have to be a lute, it can be any instrument, any sound instrument playing while you're doing this, and asking to release whatever is bothering you or whatever you feel needs to be released. Create it, co-create that pattern within yourself, and know that in this process, it will assist you in letting go of some of these stuck patterns and vibrations that you no longer need. And you'll come to a place, as I have, where stuff is disappearing and I don't know how it disappeared, and it's like, okay, I don't know how, I don't know why. I just say thank you and know that at some point we start to operate in this frequency automatically. Don't be afraid of it. It's who you truly are that's coming to light in life. So I thank you for being with me today. I apologize for the interruptions. My computer is still saying it's trying to reconnect, and hopefully I didn't disappear on you. And if I did, so be it. It's part of the world we live in, and it's part of our job to not allow all of that to disturb us too much. May each of you feel encouraged to honor yourselves as who you truly are. Let us each embrace each other in the now, the right here, right now, with peace and wholeness, and move together in unity and balance. I love you. I thank you. I respect you. I am you. You are me. And we are all here together right now to make the now the focus of our lives. With that, I'm complete. And we'll see you next week or elsewhere on Facebook, and be blessed. I love you all. Thank you for being present. Bye-bye.